Welcome back to What Arty Noobs with General Disturbance. This is the Manticore. It's the Tier 10 British light tank. It's located here on the south spawn of Malinovka, and it's under the command of Aurorik78 of SAMS, and he's got Kaida Masu of SAMS in the Gorilla 15. Game on. Well, as you know, on this particular map, it's actually helpful to get to the center tree line, not to the normal trees that you normally see. But if you get to the center line, you can actually see the enemy up until the moment, of course, they decide to come across the center, and that's when you've got to decamp. Now he's trying to get into the trees. That's it. Very nicely done. And he's getting spots on the enemy already. And that means that, yes, a lot of those guys are now permanently spotted because they're within the view range. And which means, of course, that he should be picking up loads of stuns of spotting. He's got 1,141 already, and he's got the communications expert up and running. But I think you can see there's a lion nearby. And, well, that guy's already been hit. But if he came across the map exactly where he was right now, I think, yes, Aurorik78 might be in trouble. But I don't think he is going to try and do that. Okay, main gun. It's 105mm, capable of 390 alpha. And of course, Aurorik only uses standard ammo, which means that, well, only 248mm pen. With the premium rounds, that would have been 268 as well. And with the HE rounds, if he had actually carried any, then he would have been able to do 480 alpha and only 60mm of pen. But of course, you only get 20 rounds in a Manticore, and that's a bit of a problem because if you haven't got the ammo, you certainly can't select it. You couldn't put a couple in there just for using on the odd occasion. 1,542 spotting so far. You can see they're aiming at the bush where he would have been, or a bush where a light tank would have been. So they could have been doing the same to the other spotting bush. There's nobody there. Now, oh, he's marking that mouse. There is one thing that you can do if you are in an Arty or in a another vehicle. You can actually look to see if the log wall has actually been knocked down, to see if somebody's actually come across. Doesn't appear to be any breach there, so you can't actually see it. But he is picking up loads of spotting, 980 off the line so far, 4,159 in total. This is the tank that originally was called the Chimera 1955, but of course Wargaming had already put a tank into the game which is called the Chimera, so they couldn't put another one in with the same name, so they actually picked the name Manticore instead. Now they didn't actually make one of these, it was blueprints only, but look at that, he's actually managed to get across the gap without being spotted, and well, he's moved so far away from the edge that it's unlikely, even if the mouse did try to drive south, that he would get spotted by proximity spot. While he was in the other bush, there was a chance that he might have been within 50 meters when they went past. Now there's no chance of that happening. Also means that the enemy are probably not looking that closely in the direction we're looking at the moment. There's supposedly quite a few tanks up there, but they just weren't looking in this direction when he changed bush. Now, some people have already said that they actually watch these videos because it's very instructive on how to drive a light tank, and you can see that Aurorik felt so confident that he could actually move across the gap without getting seen. Now, is he going to take too much of a risk in doing this? Well, it doesn't appear to be so, but he's just seen one tank there, so he's decided to get back into the bush again. Changing position. He's getting very close. He might actually see the tracer coming out from the enemy tanks if they're in the woods. You can actually see an AMX-50B now, and that guy's sixth sense has just gone off, so he knows he's spotted. That VK7201 is also feeling a little upset because, of course, he is spotted in the position he is, even though he's behind the ruined church. You see our team is now surging forward, even though there's a mouse in their way. There's a 121B going in and a 277, so I think they've got enough strength in that thrust that they can actually take out the mouse and then move up. Yep, lots of damage going on over there. Oh, there's that 7201K again. Keeps moving up. Incredible the way he keeps moving up without getting spotted at all. It shows the limited range of the VK7201K. These guys are all spotted as well, and they must be realizing their sixth senses are going off. There's no way they know he's here. The mouse has been killed behind him. There's that 268 version 5, who he thought was alongside him or in the woods nearby. In fact, he's actually coming back from the hill. And that 268 is getting hammered as well. Now, there's no real bush there, so he's going to have to use this one. In fact, he's decided he's going to go a little more adventurous still and move up on these guys. He could actually get to this bush here. My gum, look at the amount he spotted. Well, he did get spotted by the AMX-50, but that guy's almost out of health. And in fact, actually, he does die. So he's had one hit so far. The armor on this tank is not very strong indeed. The strongest armor is on the front of the turret. It's 80mm. Oh, he got spotted again, this time by the 907. And he got ammo actor on top of that. So he's had to fix that. This tank does have a very long reload. Standard reload is 13.42 seconds. He's got a reload of 12.79. There's the Manticore of the enemy team and the Striv. Well, he puts a round in. He didn't get the kill. But the Striv is gone. He's spotting that 268 again. And he pumps one in. Gets a high roll. Was spotted. You can see shells are definitely coming in his direction. Okay, he's got the Arty, but he can't shoot. There's the Progetto. There must be a tank between him and the Conqueror gun carriage. And the Conqueror's gone. There's the 907. Now's the 268. Gets a kill on the 268. Took her around from the 907. And the Udas is the second to last tank. Look at the amount of damage going in his direction. He's not loaded yet, but he manages to delay enough to actually get the shell in. And that is the final shell of the game. Here's the end of battle results. And that was an ace tanker game for Aurorik78 of SAMS in the Manticore. He managed to get a spotter badge for spotting at least 1,000 hit points of damage, a patrol duty for being the only one spotting 6 enemy tanks whilst they were being damaged, And on top of that, he got a scout medal for spotting at least 9 enemy vehicles from the start of the game. His win rate was 1,843, but that's because he was spotting, not actually doing real damage on the enemy. Let's have a look at the team score to see where he was. Well, we can see the highest damage in the game actually went to the Object 907 on his team with 4,367 hit points. Second highest damage went to the 121B, who managed 4,065 hit points. And the third highest damage went to the Object 907 on the enemy team with 4,033 hit points of damage. Aurorik didn't do a huge amount. He only did 1,304 hit points of actual damage, but he did enable a lot of spotting for his teammates, including Kaida Masu, who managed 3,100 in his Gorilla 15. So a lot of his benefit from that game resulted from Aurorik spotting. When it came to kills, we can see the highest number was the 907 again. 3 kills went to him. 2 kills went to the 121B and the Object 277. The 121 managed to pick up a Confederate. The 277 got a steel wall. They got 2 kills each. So did Kaida Masu, and so did Aurorik in that game, even though he was spotting for most of the game. And on the enemy team, only 5 players actually managed kills, so they only got 1 apiece. And when it came to base XP, that's Aurorik. Yes, he did all the spotting work. He got 1,360 base experience points out of the game. The next highest being the 2684, who managed 988. And then we got the 907, who managed 897 in the game. And of course, Kaida Masu picked up 707, so he wasn't slouching. He was doing big damage as well. So he got the top in the base, but got second place on the number of kills. And that figure there, 304, 1,304, it's way down the table, so I won't work out exactly which one it is or where he is. But anyway, let's have a look at detail. He fired only 4 shells. Each shell hit the target and penetrated. 1,304 hit points of damage. He did receive 3 hits from the enemy, and each one of those penetrated as well, I'm afraid. Well, this thing doesn't have much in the way of armor, so if it does get spotted, it could get wiped out or very, very badly damaged. He spotted 9 enemy vehicles, so he just qualified for the scout medal. 3 enemy vehicles were damaged, 2 were killed, and he got 12,924 hit points of spotting assist in that game. So if you combine that with the actual damage, well, that's actually 14,200 combined. And he does say that right at the top. It's a huge total, and he really assisted his team to win that game. On a premium count, he actually made 160,605 credits from that game, including 65,000 as a mission completion bonus. He got 7 bonds for this being tier 10, and he got 10,857 experience points, including 7,896 for mission completion. So really was a spectacular game there for Aurorik, and pretty good for Kaida Masu in his Gorilla as well. And especially it was down to the fact that he was moving up through the field, and he kept moving from bush to bush when he thought it was safe enough to do so without getting spotted. But he enabled his team to see where the enemy was and do huge amounts of damage to them. So much credit goes to Aurorik78 in this game. Let's have a look at the second one. Well, we can see the second game is actually on the Himmelsdorf map. It was too brief for us to see, but I think it was a commander's vision system, the bounty exhaust, and the other one might have been vents. I wasn't absolutely 100% certain. Okay, spotted a few of the enemy, but they saw him, and that means he has to pull back. Now, this little tank was actually supposed to be a tank destroyer, not a light tank. But much like the AMX CLC, which comes from the same period, around the 50s, they were both meant to be tank destroyers. They both turned out to be light tanks in the game. Now, he's made his way around the other side of the building, so he's got some cover. Try to look at the corner, see if he can spot anyone. It's a Jaeger up there somewhere. It's a tier 10 game. Tier 10 only tanks. Now, the gunner on this vehicle is also the commander and the loader. the driver, all he has to do is drive. Oh, they've got a Manticore, and he's just moved into position, so we're going to have to go into cover. Otherwise, we'll get hit. And it looks like he was moving out to try and angle hit. Ideally, you can turn the vehicle the other way around. So, a bit like with the Tier 1 and Tier 2 tanks, you can back out around the corner, showing just the turret, and hit the enemy. Okay. Blykowiska. Polish tank destroyer. Well, he did hit him in the tracks, but he couldn't get the penetration. He's popped out again, and we can't see him. Just too far. He's right at the extent of the range, even with the commander's vision system. He's indicated the target for his teammates. Somebody fired in there, and he is looking in our general direction, but he can't see us exactly at the moment. No, he's got a blue mark there showing, obviously, he can't get the penetration. Penetration indicators saying, no, can't do it. I go for the cupola. Yes, that's around about where it is. It's the one with all the gubbins on it. That's about the best, but he's got very poor gun accuracy on this one and gun handling. Yeah, notice how far away from the actual aim point the shell went. A long way away. It's got 8 degrees of gun depression, but the gun elevation on this tank is actually pretty poor. It's only 8 degrees in the opposite way. So if you're looking up at the target, you could be in trouble. Okay, that gorilla just got hit, and he's a one-shot. Nice one, he got a kill. But I saw a shell go in his direction. So somebody saw him the moment he fired. Yeah, that terrible reload time. 12.94 seconds. By the book, it's 13.42. And the enemy just sent their Manticore through the cap area. In fact, he's not the only one there. In fact, the Batchat 25 ton just got taken out by our gorilla. And we just saw the enemy Manticore. Now, remember that long reload? Oh, he fired it in and he did get the pen for 417. Even though he shot through the car, I reckon that shell must have gone through the back window, out the front shield, and into the Manticore. So, yes, he's really being cheeky when he gets these shots. So he's taken out the gorilla with a shot where the guy went past the gap. And now he's trying to hit the enemy Manticore with trick shots. Okay, the Blykowiska has actually come down the road. Oh! And he's just spot. He just shot. And we put a round into him. Now, we could run down the other side of the map. There, he's just looking. There's the DBV-152. He's hanging around. And that guy's looking in our general direction. He missed. Oh! And he did not miss. 417, but we just took a hit from that Type 71. We need to get out of here, otherwise we're going to get hit again. Ow! Yes, we did get hit again. But we did get the kill shot when we took him out. So we took 2 shells from the Type 71, but we got the kill on him. Okay, the Manticore's come back. Now, we're not loaded yet, but we will be momentarily, as soon as I can get these teeth to work. Okay, the DBV is a one-shot. 390 Alpha. He's got 375. Hello. Well, that's the end of him. Oh, we just got shot at again. And it was the Manticore this time. Now, he won't be loaded for sure. And he's running away. And he took a hit. A big hit. 465. We go for the ram as well. And we did get something. 225 over 118. And we're trying to troll him now. And he gets the kill. And that was the last kill of the game. And he was dominant. Here's the end of battle stats. And that was a second-class tanker for Aurorik78 of SAMS in the Manticore. He managed to get a fighter badge for getting at least 4 kills. In fact, he got 4 exactly. He got a duelist for taking down 2 tanks who damaged him. And he also got a fire for effect for doing more damage than hit points for his own vehicle. And his win rate from that one was 5,903, which is super unicum. And he says, Manticore rampage in the streets, king of the streets. Well, he certainly dominated that enemy Manticore right at the end of the game. He was trolling him as well. He was actually pushing him back, keeping him off guard so he couldn't shoot back, and then got the final kill to finish him off. Very well done. Let's have a look at team score. Didn't get the highest damage. That went to the Caro 45T on his own team, who managed a tank sniper and 5,596 hit points of damage. Second highest damage was the E5 on the enemy team, 4,153. And third highest damage, well, that belonged to the Object 268 version 5. He managed 3,658 on our team. Aurorik managed 3,133. He was actually beaten by only 2 players on the enemy team, 2 on his own, which puts him in 5th place when it comes to damage. You can see he was also in this game with Kaida Masu and also with Trauma Victim. They're also in SAMS. Kaida Masu did 1,539 hit points of damage in the DBV 152, and unfortunately did get taken out of the game. And Trauma Victim, unfortunately, didn't score anything, but he was in the Jaegeru. When it came to kills, we can see that Aurorik managed to get the highest number in the game, 4 kills to him, 3 kills to the E5 on the enemy team, and then 2 kills to the Caro, the Heshbarn, the E5, and the Gorilla 15 on his own team. On the enemy team, the Manticore was the only one who managed to get 2 kills. And when it came to base XP, he's in 2nd place. The Caro 45 ton managed 1,038. And we can see Aurorik got 1,017. They were the only 2 who managed to get over 1,000 base, with the Heshbarn getting 874 and the STB-1 getting 866. He fired only 10 rounds in the game, but he got 9 direct hits and 8 penetrations. 3,133 hit points, all of it at close range. 2 hits received from the enemy, both from that T-Type 71, the Japanese tank, and both of them penetrated. The armor on this vehicle is not that strong. 80 millimeters at the front of the turret, as I mentioned, 50 millimeters front of the hull. Most shells are going to penetrate that. 1 enemy hit by way of splash damage, 4 enemy vehicles spotted, 5 enemy vehicles damaged, 4 killed, and he earned 13,225 credits on a premium account. He got 42 bonds, 7 of that was for tier 10 and 35 for an achievement, and 9,155 experience points out of the game, including getting a bonus of 6,104. So very well played there. Just goes to show, even a tiny little tank like the Manticore with a terrible reload time can dominate. And I love the way he dominated that Manticore right at the end. He really didn't give that guy a chance. And he was literally trolling him by using his steering to actually put the guy off guard so he couldn't get the barrel onto his tank. I hope you enjoyed both of those replays. This one, and of course the one on Malinovka, where he really reigned the battlefield because, of course, they couldn't spot him. They couldn't see where he was until he actually went in to try and get shots. And even then he was out in the open, and it was because he was actually being spotted from different directions. But fantastic amount of damage, and superb to get the ace and Holy Trinity, and also then to dominate on Himmelsdorf by roaming around the battlefield, actually getting the odd bit of damage on other enemy tanks, shooting through the window of that car as well. That must have been a bit off-putting for the Manticore because he couldn't see him at the time. He was actually hiding behind the car, but then he lined the shot up and shot right through the window. That's going to be a big claim on the insurance later on. Hope you enjoyed that one. If you did, please give this video a like, and thank you for watching.